What up? What up? What up? This is Mike the Philosopher, along with the Governor, Black Male, and MC in the place to be, or KY, as y'all can see. Anyway, the subject of today is um, have we been hustling the wrong way? Do we need a new understanding of what a prosperous life is? Um, and let me tell you why this is the topic, because um, this country has seemed to be going kind of bananas. All right, with a lot of the things that's going on, you have racial shootings happening, hate crime stuff. You have questions with farming. You have uh, politics. You have inflation. You have the housing market about to crash. You have a recession that looks like it's about to happen. You have a lot of things going on in America specifically. It's going to happen all over the world, but it's America specifically. And, you know, I come to terms that, maybe this is a good time to reevaluate the situation and maybe even contemplate relocation. Okay. Um, Now I have a list of places that I've been contemplating, and you know, not saying I'm gonna do it, but if I do, these are the places that I would contemplate. One of them is Ethiopia, Ghana, Uganda, South Africa, uh, the Philippines, Thailand, and Brazil. So those are the list of places that I will possibly think about relocating in. And why? To get a more affordable way of life and kind of upgrade my lifestyle, um, without necessarily upgrading my income, which I'm still working on upgrading my income. But I want to I want to be more of a digital nomad. That's becoming a goal of mine right now. Um, and One of the places I was thinking was possibly well, there's a lot of places, but what do you have to say about that, Black? What do you have to say about becoming a digital nomad?
No, that's definitely a move right there. Um, I invested in a couple of websites. They never took off. I never, put enough up and all. I invested enough
Right.
to really get them going, but I definitely know in the right platform, you can live anywhere in the world if you got the right real estate online. You know what I mean? The right, space, website, platform, social media, whatever that generates income. So that's always been a goal of mine too, as the last 4 or 5 years. But yeah, all them names you just listed was definitely contenders, on my list. I don't know about Thailand, but the Philippines. I've been hearing good things.
Yeah.
There's the currency exchange rate, is good in most other places, technically, unless you're going to like Europe, where they falsely inflated the value of their currency in some areas, But yeah, I'm with all that. I want
Yeah.
to relocate myself.
Yeah. Thailand is about I think maybe Philippines is like 30 to 1, and I think Thailand is about 20 to 1, something like that. So they call it the Thai baht. So
You
it's,
said 30 to 1.
yeah, in Philippines is about 30 to 1. A peso. a Filipino
So
peso.
for every $1 American,
You get 30,
it's 30
30,
pesos
yeah, 30
in
pesos.
equal or exchangeable value 30
Gi-
times over
Give or
over there.
take, depending on how much the market has changed. And speaking of markets, let me bring in KY here. You know about money exchanges, right?
Oh yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
when it comes to the foreign exchange market, yeah, absolutely.
yeah. You follow that stuff on Forex or something or what?
I mean, it's initially forex is foreign exchange, so when you're dealing with the foreign exchange markets, that's how you're able to see these different price points and
You
where
got a
price
little,
is currently
you
at.
got a little echo going on, man. Maybe you should turn the volume down on the microphone a little bit, or your phone or whatever. Just turn it down one notch, so it won't echo and feed back feed on us.
All right, we should be good now.
Yeah, yeah, that's better. So go ahead. What were you saying?
Yeah, no, I was just saying, um, you're able to see, of course, where price is at when you're reading the foreign exchange markets. So when you actually have the markets up, is where you're able to see where price is at and where it's potentially going or where it's been.
Right, right, right. Yeah, yeah. I would advise everybody to get familiar with forex and foreign exchange, especially in our community. We need to. I mean, this young brother here is doing good things in that market. I think more of us need to be doing some things in that market and understand. Like, if you understand money and how it works and how it goes up and down in value, you're that's really the game. That's being at the table. That's the main game to play. Yeah, you could have a job or a career or education and this, that, and the third, but if you understand money, that's the only real understanding you really need, as far as I'm concerned. So he's in the right market. He's learning the right stuff, and and I think more of us need to get more familiar, not just with forex and stuff, but stocks, options, mutual funds, cryptocurrency. I think we should all get familiar with that, because it's going to be a wealth transfer. It's going to be a wealth transfer. We're going to hit a um a bit of a recession here coming up, and to understand money is going to be key, and how you and your lifestyle also. So that's another reason why I was considering going someplace where there is, a more affordable lifestyle, somewhere like Philippines, Thailand, Ghana, Uganda, um, Ethiopia, places like that. And I'm trying to find out. I'm kind of still in a research phase of everything, but I've been heavily contemplating that. And look, I know a lot of people are still in love with you know this country, and I get it. This is all you. A lot of people, all I've traveled internationally, so I know this ain't all that's out there. Um, so I just look for other ways to try and live a different type of lifestyle. Um, but there is something to be said about, okay, if you're not rich in this country, maybe you could be rich in another country. Or if you don't have the lifestyle you want in this country, maybe you can have it in another country, especially if you're a digital nomad. I think right now that is a big goal for a lot of people. I know it is for me. And I would say probably by next year I will probably be a digital nomad. Um, what are some countries that you think would be good countries to go to for that black, like especially in Africa or even in Asian countries. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm thinking Philippines
Yeah,
do that work. That's pretty much what he owned. He was you know, talking it up pretty tough. I looked
yeah,
into it, and you know, it seemed like a viable option.
yeah. And the people
You
are
know,
nice there. The people are friendly, and they look at foreigners as they're like many celebrities, like almost like they really want to get to know foreigners, and they welcome everybody, the men and the women welcome foreigners. So I mean, I've seen some things on Philippines, and they seem like very friendly people, and I think it's a good spot to look at, especially since it's 30 to 1 for with of the dollar to the Filipino peso. So I mean, you can get a plate of food, or you can order stuff for just, I mean, less than $1 at some places. Right? I mean, you could really live pretty well there. I mean, obviously, there's going to be some drawbacks no matter where you go or where you are, but for the most part, as an American, I would say going to the Philippines, a lot of them are doing that, and there are they don't want to see no parts of this place anymore. They're good staying in the Philippines. I mean, they are so happy, it's ridiculous. Um, I've seen some people go to Uganda also, and the women there are nice too, and pretty thick. Probably the curviest country on the planet, because I know, because I've been to Uganda.
you said the curviest,
Oh
as in
man,
what? Wait, break that down.
listen, man. When I was there, my head was on a swivel. My head was on a serious swivel. Like, I'm talking about from the time I got to the airport to the time I got back to the airport, head was on a swivel. The women
Swivel for
there,
what?
the
I'm
women,
confused.
the women there are super curvy, man. I mean, curves. All I think Sir Mix-a-Lot retired there. Um, it's so curvy, man. They used to have this contest called Miss Curvy, and they had this contest in Uganda called Miss Curvy because they got the curviest women. Now, I know some play, like, if you a guy there and you like curvy women, you're gonna be distracted. You ain't gonna get nothing done. Okay, you're gonna be it's they thick, there, and it's in all the right places, and they got small waists. So it's like, man, it's something to be. I don't want to linger on that, because they have a very respectful women, and their women are very traditional too. They have a lot more to offer. They're one of the, I mean, this place has some of the smartest people, I would even say on the planet, a lot, not just in Africa but on the planet. I mean, Ugandans are very smart people. um and they are, I don't want to say they're closest to, well, sort of. They just have great traditions. They really honor the men there. It is a true patriarchal society in Uganda. They treat the men there with respect. When I was there, I was received well and with respect, and I loved it. I loved it when I was there. You know, um, so that definitely made me not only kind of fall in love with Uganda, but even just Africa as a whole.
You
And
don't
and
think the men in America are treated with respect?
okay, see, now you're trying to start some stuff. trying to start some stuff here, man. And I
No,
see
I'm
what.
just saying, you know, I'm just,
No, no, no. Yeah, you trying to start it, but honestly, no. Compared to Uganda, absolutely not, and I'll stand on that. They don't treat the men with the same honor and
well,
respect as
what's
they
the
do in
difference? Like,
Uganda.
give us some details. Like, what, you know,
Well, okay. Let me tell you a story. When I was in Uganda, um, I was greeted, and people and the women bowed to me. I mean, got on all fours and bowed to me in honor
they
of
got
my
on their hands and knees and bowed down to you.
yes, hands, knees, bow in honor of my presence.
Oh my goodness. How did you feel
Yes.
about that?
Well, to be honest, I was taken aback by it, and I was a little, maybe even embarrassed. So, what I did is I bowed back to them, and they all laughed at me for doing that.
You bowed back to him?
I bowed back to them, and they laughed at me for it. They said, "You're a man. You don't bow to women. Women bow to you."
Wow. So hold on. They corrected you.
They corrected me and
Now, was
said,
this women that
"They said
corrected you or
it
men?
was women that corrected me."
So the women said, "You don't bow to me. I bow down to you."
That's what the women said.
Oh my. So how did that make you
Yes.
feel? What was going through
I
your mind?
said, "I need permanent residence." That's what I
Oh wow.
said. Okay. I said I need permanent residence at this spot because I'm not used to the women honoring the men in that way. Now, when it came time to eat, right? I got the big piece of chicken. Okay. Now that don't sound like a big deal, but I'm talking about my plate was full of food. I did not have to get up and go get my plate or anything. The women of the house, they made the food. They put a lot of delicious items on the food on the plate. They handed it to me. Now, before they handed me my food, there was someone who walked up to me, a young lady, and she had a bucket of water, soap, and a towel. Right? I said, "What is this for?" And she said, "You can wash your hands here." So I didn't even have to go up to the bathroom to wash my hands. She came to me, and I washed my hands in the bucket with the soap and water, and then she dried my hands off with the towel. So I didn't have to get up at all.
Now, is this like just one special occasion for somebody from the States? Or is this tradition? Can the men that live there expect this kind of treatment? Like, fill us in on that kind of info.
Now, from what I understand, I would have to say it was probably something they do with all their guests, but I can't necessarily say it's exclusive to guests. You know, um, you know that same young lady, and I found this kind of different is that she did not walk directly in my line of sight. Okay, so let me explain that. They have couches in a sitting area, living room, let's call it, right? The couches are a foot off of the wall. They're not flush on the wall like they in America. They're a foot off of the wall. So the young lady, once she got done washing my hands, she actually walked around the back of the couches and then around the back of the owners of the house couch to get out of the room. She did not walk in the line of sight of us. You see what I'm saying? So it's like if I were talking to them across from each other, couch to couch, she would not pass our path. She would always walk behind us by walking in that foot space from the couch to the wall. You see what I'm saying? And I would have to say that, you know, I never seen that before. I never seen women bowing to my feet. I never seen someone bring me pretty much a kitchen sink or whatever to my couch so I could wash my hands. Never seen someone not walk within my line of sight path. Never seen those type of things. So those were traditions and stuff that I had to kind of like, it's like, wow, this is different. I've never experienced this. I love it though.
So what's the conversation like with the brothers that's there that live in that environment? Like, do they tell you anything different, or do they say like, man, they just front, man, they just doing that because you from over there? They don't do that normally.
No,
what they talking about?
Yeah, that's a good question, Black. Here's the thing. The men over there are honored. They are very, like I said, it is a patriarchal society, but the men don't really, the men have to provide. That's their main thing. They have to provide. Okay. Aside from that, they don't really do much else. Okay. As a matter of fact, the place that I was at, even though that wasn't a maid, but they had a maid. They hire maids there. Maids are very affordable in places like Uganda and things like that. Maids are very affordable. So they hire maids to do all of that stuff. Even the wives don't do like the wife did the cooking, but the maids, they'll clean up and they'll help cook and they'll do all of that stuff. Now the men, they're not saying, oh, that's just because you're a foreigner. No, they get that treatment all the time. It's normal to them. Okay. Now,
so are you saying the men are spoiled over there, or they just properly put in their rightful honor? They're honored rightfully.
I'm gonna say they're honored correctly in Uganda. They're doing it right in Uganda as far as family. And what another thing I noticed is that the men were at home with their wives. Now, I'm not saying other stuff don't go down. I'm not saying that you know, they don't believe in, you know, a lot of infidelity or anything like that. Look, let me also say this about them.
Can they have more than one wife?
They can have more than one wife. When I was there, right, and I did it. I was actually on TV when I was in Uganda.
Mike, and by the way, when you're in Uganda, actually when you're in Africa, you can have more than one wife for free.
Woo! Wow. This is the place to be.
Yeah. Just as long as you don't take them to church and have a traditional ceremony, as long as your pocket and other methods are able to sustain you.
Yes, other methods, of course.
Yeah. I got that.
Then you'll be
as
very
many.
Good.
By law, nobody can touch you.
Yeah.
The moment you go to church, though, you're restricted to one.
Really?
Yes.
Is that a Muslim thing?
No, it's Christian.
No, it's a Christian
But
thing.
if you're Muslim, up to 4.
Okay.
Yes.
But if you just do the traditional function and stop there, you can have up to 50.
I said, wow.
Now, what would you do with 50 wives?
Just let me dream. Just let me dream. Okay. Don't steal the dream away from me. I'll say this. In my earlier days, my younger days, I would not have no issue with that. But I'm seasoned now. So I would not want that many, but I'm not saying that I would just want one either. I would do no more than 4. I would do no more than 4 wives.
One for every season or what?
You could say that, it's for every quarter of the year, but no, I would have no more than 4, but I probably wouldn't want no more than or no, at the very least 2. I think I could rock out with 2, and it would be good if they would be good friends or best friends or whatever, so I wouldn't have to do that part. But at least 2. I would say at the least 2, at the most 4.
Sean B.
I don't know. He got a lot of background. I muted him. So unmute yourself, Sean, if you can hear us. But I would say this. Go ahead, Sean.
What's up? You're in the
Matrix, man.
Hey, I was gonna ask a quick question, man. I don't know how much of the conversation you heard, but doggone Act was talking about in Uganda you can have up to 50 wives over there. Now, if you did move to Uganda, which is part of the topic of us just thinking outside the box, and if you was gonna move somewhere outside of here, where would it be? If you moved to Uganda or anywhere else, and you could have multiple wives, how many would you have?
How many wives would I have? Well, to be honest, sounds like in a culture where that is a thing, having multiple wives, it sounds like the relationship would be treated differently. So I know, and this might be getting a little bit deeper than rap, but biblical terms of marriage is technically when you consummate your love. You have the ceremony in front of the people, you have the permission from the Father, and you consummate the love. Now, if in a country where that's a thing, where it's known for you to have multiple wives, then it almost sounds like the journey in which a man is on. Like, you might come across people, that you're sincerely trying to help, and they become good friends, and there might be people where, I don't know, you come in contact with where, you somehow build a relationship and it goes deeper than just, that moment, you know what I mean? And so maybe in that moment, that man consummated his love with that woman and was like, okay, well, since I did that, now I got to make you my wife. You know what I mean? Like, I can't just be out here wilding, you know what I mean? So he makes her his wife, you know what I mean? And so
Sean, give us a number.
Personally,
give us a number. How many, man?
I don't know. I couldn't tell you. Just, yeah.
KY, give us a number. How many? If you had the choice of choosing how many wives you could have, how many would you have?
Man, I mean, for me, I'm a believer in having one, because I never really had one myself. But, I feel like if anything, I would want max 2. I wouldn't want to do the extras and have, 10, 15, 20. I feel like that's just doing too much.
Yeah.
Right. But then again, if if your wife was like, all right, this is what we do in this country, I'm sure there's, other women that you would form a bond with, sort of say like, You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
not
I
like
feel like
being
they
on
wouldn't
no.
be my wife though. I wouldn't wife them though. You know what I mean? If that was the case.
Well, let me say this, and this is another thing, a tradition that I
But that's
failed
kind
to
of
mention.
American, maybe.
Right. Let me say this. One thing in Africa in general, and especially Uganda, is that they're very traditional people. Okay, they don't really believe in dating. Dating is not a thing. You're either friends or you husband and wife. It ain't none of this dating stuff. They don't really have a an American grasp on dating. Okay. If you meet the parents, you're expected to marry the daughters. Okay. So you can't mess around, you can't play around, you can't, smash and dash, or I have her on the side. No, none of that. You know what I mean? It's because a lot of times in African cultures, you're, if you deflower a girl, which is kind of how they view it, if you deflower their daughter, they want some,
The married.
they want a dowry. They want some money for that. And you need to marry her because you're damaging her reputation at that point.
That's biblical law.
Yeah, well, and it's just more of an African tradition. So the whole dating thing is not really a thing as much as it is in America, and that's the part that I had to understand and get used to, because I was like, because I was there with someone, okay, and I was like, they don't know we're dating or whatever, and she was like, nah. They asking, look, my cousin just bought a tux, okay, and her cousin was a dude, and he was pissed. He was pissed. He was like, when is the wedding? I bought my tuxedo, and I'm like, dude, what? Wait a minute, like you didn't tell them or nothing like that. I'm just here, like, so it was a misunderstanding. Like they were serious. If they look at it like this, if you're meeting the parents, wedding plans are already in action. Okay. Otherwise, why are you meeting me? You see what I'm saying? You have no business. Yeah. You have no business meeting me if we ain't talking dowry prices. Why are you meeting me? And I get that. And I like that about Africa. I like that some of their traditional ways. We need to implement that back here in America, but it's too capitalistic here. This is what I'm saying. So this is why I was contemplating on, looking at other places, but that was just one of them.
Hey, I got a two-part question for you, Bob.
Okay,
so when you went to Uganda, now this question is, and it's gonna lead to my ultimate question.
Well, I tell you what, save it for a part 2, man, because we're running out of time. So hit the like, share, and subscribe, and catch us on the next one. We appreciate you, and he'll answer his question in the next video.